Are you paying for everything with your debit card? If so, you need to stop doing that. Like right now. And I'm going to tell you why. Recent studies show that over half of all payments are made with a debit card. And if you listen to financial gurus like Dave Ramsey, he recommends that you only use debit cards.
I carry debit cards, and I have used them literally all over the world. I don't own a single credit card.
And look, I'm not trying to diss Dave. He's helped a lot of people improve their money situation, and I can definitely respect that. I just don't agree with some of the things he says, especially as it relates to debit cards. And here are the 3 main reasons why you need to stop using your debit card right now. Number 1. Debit cards are directly linked to your bank account. You're probably like, wait a minute, isn't that what makes debit cards good? Protecting yourself from overspending by only being allowed to spend what you have can definitely be helpful. But the negatives far outweigh the positives. And that's because anything that happens to your card is linked to the actual money you have in your bank account. You know, that thing that you use every month to pay your rent or your mortgage or just go buy groceries. So what happens if someone steals your card information and commits fraud? If you listen to Dave Ramsey, he says,
the debit card has the exact same fraud protection as the credit card.
So let's talk about the facts about how you're protected with debit cards. So number 1, if you report your card as lost or stolen to your bank before any fraudulent transactions happen, you're not liable for anything. That's pretty good. Number 2, if you report your card as lost or stolen within 48 hours, your liability is limited to $50 of any fraudulent transactions. Number 3, if you report after 48 hours but within 60 days, your liability is limited to $500. And number 4, if you don't report it lost or stolen within 60 days, your liability is unlimited. And just to compare, for credit cards, your liability is always capped at $50. But that's not even the most important part. Even if you're on top of things and notify your bank that there's an issue with your debit card, until they figure out what to do, you may not have access to that money. Under Regulation E, banks have up to 10 business days to make a determination of what happened. If they can't complete their investigation within 10 business days, they have up to 45 days to make a determination. Now, generally, they may give you what they call a provisional credit, but how and when they do that is up to your bank. So at a minimum, you may not have access to your money for up to 2 weeks. Now, how many people can handle their money being held in their bank account like that? What if your rent is due during that time, or your mortgage? What if you just have to go buy food for your family? And even if you're not the victim of fraud, just everyday transactions can lock up your available balance. As gas prices have gone up, gas stations are now holding more money, sometimes up to $200 whenever you fill up. That $200 hold locks up part of your account balance. So tell me again, why is all this trouble worth it? Just so that you don't spend more than you have? Having just a little bit of self-control and using a credit card like you would a debit card, meaning only spending with money that you actually have to pay it off, can really save you a bunch of headaches. The beauty of the credit card is that you get to use other people's money, namely the banks. So if fraudsters take your information, your checking account is safe. If the gas stations want to hold hundreds of dollars, your bank account is safe. Only spend what you have and pay it off every month and save yourself the trouble. Now that issue alone should be the main reason that you stop paying with your debit card, but there's a couple other smaller reasons as well. Number 2, debit cards don't build up your credit. Regardless of what you think about credit scores or if they're fair or if they're right, the bottom line is that they're impactful in our lives. And establishing and having a good credit score is just another tool that you can use to be able to improve your money situation. But when you only pay with the debit card, you're not building up credit for yourself. And this is because when you get a credit card, it's the bank that's lending you access to a line of credit that you're responsible for paying back. So every month, they report your balance and payment activity to the credit bureaus. So if you're consistently paying your card off on time and keeping a low or zero balance, your credit score will go up. And again, just because you have a credit card doesn't mean that you have to spend money that you don't have. Just use it like a debit card, pay your balance off every month, and then it'll only help your credit score instead of hurting it. Number 3, debit cards don't earn good rewards. And ultimately, rewards aren't really a big deal, but when you compare the rewards that you get on a debit card versus credit cards, it's really not in the same ballpark.
Whoa, stop right there.
It's common to have a credit card that gives you 1.5 to even 2% cash back on every purchase. And a lot of cards have bonus categories that give you 3, 4, or even 5% cash back. And when you start to add rewards programs like American Express membership rewards or Chase Ultimate Rewards, the rewards points can add up and be used for things like travel, to events and experiences, to actually making purchases. Pretty much the minimum amount you'll earn on just about any card is 1% cash back or 1 times points rewards. And lastly, specific credit cards can give you perks outside of just rewards, including things like priority boarding or free checked bags on certain airlines. And that's actually one of the reasons why I've kept my United Club card. I don't always fly United, but when I do, it's nice to have those perks, especially when I'm traveling with my whole family. And when you compare this to standard debit card rewards, it just doesn't really match up. Some of the best debit reward cards include things like the American Express Serve Cashback Debit, which gives unlimited 1% cash back, or the Discover Cashback Debit, which gives 1% cash back up to $3,000 of spend per month. So for the most part, the best debit reward cards are pretty much on par with the worst or the most common credit cards that you can get. Now, you shouldn't get a credit card just for the rewards because we're still only talking about a small percentage of cash back. But when you add it together with the other reasons we've already talked about, it's just another one in favor of responsibly using a credit card. For me personally, I haven't used my debit card for spending in probably 10 or 15 years. I literally only use it to get money out of the ATM. And in some cases, you don't even need to bring your card to the ATM if you have one that can use Apple Pay or your mobile wallet. Sweet. So I know that Dave Ramsey is adamant that you don't need a credit card and that you shouldn't get one so that you're not tempted to go into debt.
It's got a sense of pain, a sense of reality tied to it because it's tied to your checking account.
But the reality is that if you can just show a basic amount of restraint and only spend on your credit card based on the money you have in your account to pay it off, then it can give you a ton of benefits that really help, especially for folks who are living paycheck to paycheck and struggling with the balance in their account. So are you guys using credit cards the same way that I am? Or are you actually prescribing to Dave's method and only using your debit card for everything? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you're interested in learning how you can invest your credit card reward points, click on this video right here where I go through step by step how I invest my American Express membership rewards through my Schwab brokerage account. Hope you guys have a great day out there. Financial independence is true freedom, so keep stacking those wins, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.